Welcome to Ask the Oracle, where we explore mystical wisdom, intuitive living, and soul led journeys. I'm your host, Suzy Cherub, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, Rose Inserra. Rose is a published author, dream expert, and wise woman of Italian folklore. She's here to share insights from her latest book on Italian folk magic, as well as her expertise in dream interpretation and cultural storytelling. Together, we'll uncover the threads of ancestral wisdom that continue to shape our lives today. So let's dive in. Hi, Rose. How are you, my love?
Hello, Susie. So lovely to be here. Thank you for asking me to be here today.
You're very, very welcome. So excited to dive deep. We had a quick chat before we jumped on today, and I'm married to an Italian man, a Calabrese, and Rose, yeah, and we've sort of got quite a few things in common. So I have a feeling this is going to be a very soulful conversation. Super excited for it. So, my love, what inspired you to write your latest book on Italian folk magic?
Well, to be honest, Susie, there was nothing like it anywhere in Australia. There are some in the US, but there was nothing at all that reflected our culture. And I was born in Italy, so that meant even more to me. However, all those young years, I had pretty much abandoned my cultural heritage. I lived in the time when it wasn't trendy to be Italian. So I had the usual bullying issues that we all had. And I try to hide from I suppose, the external Italianisms. So, the way we spoke, how we ate, our rituals, all the crazy things like we'd have passata day or salami making day. None of my friends knew what that meant or wanted to. And so I thought, so after all these years, there came a time where I had lost who I was, right? I tried so hard to fit into the Aussie landscape, to become more of an Aussie, but in the interim, I really lost sight of my roots. So after a few trips to Italy, I thought, oh, I had this flame. I was impassioned. It was just like, I remember, this is who I am.
Oh,
And
wow.
as a
Yeah.
result of that, I said, I'm going to write about this. I'm going to write about all those things that my nonna, my grandmother, and other people's grandparents who'd passed on had forgotten. And so I'm bringing back the original, say, cultural traditions and some of the witchy stuff that, you never talk about.
Oh, that is so true. That blend of, you know, the Catholic religion with, beautiful kind of, Italian folk magic. What a beautiful blend. And I've witnessed that over the years. And I know they probably don't talk about it at church, but it's very much alive and well in those beautiful Italian communities, isn't it?
Yes, even today. There's
Even
a
today.
huge, look, even in Italy, there's a revival of the ancient Italian traditions. So, fortunately, I went to Italy last year, as I do every few years, and I was in Benevento, which is near Naples. And lo and
Mm.
behold, there was a witch museum. It was all about witchcraft and the strega and the old
Oh, I love the
ancient
Strega.
rituals. Then,
Yes.
then there was one in Milano and one in Torino, all the different parts of Italy are somehow reviving the Strega myth and reality, really, because so many of our ancestral women were wise women, herbalists, midwives, who
Yes.
practiced certain rituals, shall we say. So
I
it's
love
all,
that.
it's all coming back in.
I
Yeah,
love that you had that remembering that kind of reawakening when you went back to Italy. I think you came out to Australia when you were 9, is that right?
that's right. Yeah,
So
yeah,
you would have had some memory of Italy as well. Yeah?
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
9 is, as you know, you're a good age that you have
You're a good age. Yeah.
those fundamental memories. So there was always
Yes.
a part of me that pulled me back there. And as you can appreciate, so many migrants who've come here to Australia, there's always that pull. There's always that feeling of
Always that pull.
you
Yeah.
want to be in both places, but you're
Yes.
never either fully in one or fully in the other. So
Yeah, that's so
having the
true.
book
Yeah.
held me close to those beautiful memories.
Yes. I love that there's this revival and this pride in around Italian folk magic. And I know my husband, when he went to school in Leeton in the Riverina, you wouldn't want to turn up to school with a salami sandwich. He took Vegemite sandwiches for years because he didn't want to get teased and bullied at school. The funny thing is now, we have salami making day. My husband makes salamis, and he's teaching his Aussie mates how to make salami and, tomato sauce making day, passata day. My adult children, it's one of their favorite times to come together, as an Italian family. And I just absolutely love that you've written this book and yeah, and to have, you know, an Italian Australian writing Italian folk magic. I think it's a wonderful thing. Yeah, it's quite amazing that there's not a lot of it out there. Yeah, you said there's a little bit in America, but not quite so much here. Yeah.
That's right. This is the only book that I know of that, looking on the internet, that has any kind of that sort of Italianisms. There are a lot of, you may have noticed a lot of comedians, particularly in Melbourne,
Yeah.
who make fun, they
Yeah.
joke about their heritage growing up, but there's nothing written as far as, more serious vibe as to, all the traditional methods that we've used, from the evil eye to Saints' days or the cooking that we do on specific feast days as well.
Yes.
Sort of
Yeah.
nothing in one single book. So I'm really excited. It's been so popular. It's had two reprints and it's about to go into a third reprint.
Congratulations. That's
Thank
so
you.
fabulous.
And it's just what
So
people
wonderful.
wanted. I gave
Yeah.
people what they needed and wanted, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually often wear the evil eye. I've got it on this
Ah,
this wrist, and I've got it on my other wrist as well. And yeah. So, who is your readership and how have you been surprised by their response? Because you've had an incredible response, my love. And I know that you've done your book launches and your bits and pieces. So, you know, um, I love, that you're out there and you're kind of promoting it. It's so wonderful. So, who is interested? Is it Australians with that Italian heritage, or is it, across the board, or who do you think's really kind of interested in the book?
well, you're right. It is across the board. I was quite surprised at the variation. So I have run some workshops and I've run a Malocchio tour in Carlton. And it was interesting. So you have the Italians who have, as I said, they haven't quite all the memories, all the recipes that their nonnas would have had, and they want to remember. They really want that memory, that connection to their heritage. Then you have very young people. So, women, particularly young women in their 20s, who said, look, mum totally rejected everything our grandparents did. And now we're coming back. We want to
Oh,
start
I love
fresh.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like we want to know who we are. We
often
want to
skips a
know
generation.
all that.
Mm,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
have those. And then you have the Aussies. You're quite right. The Australians who are married to Italians or may have, have gone to Italy,
yes,
Italophiles who want to understand more deeply. And I've even had Indigenous who've, which has been beautiful. And I asked them, I
yes,
said, what actually drew you to coming to an Italian folk magic workshop? And they said, because the whole concept of family, of roots, of connection is very similar to ours. For example, we have dialects, which you'd be familiar with, Susie, with the kind of
yes,
red
yeah,
dialect. So Italy has 20 regions, and that there are as many dialects as there are regions, even more
yes,
so. So that makes it very unique. So Italians were tribal people before the Romans took over. And so having your own dialect distinguishes you from other regions and it makes it
yes.
very different. Similarly with Indigenous who have their own tribal and their
So
own,
true. Yeah,
and it makes them very different to what country you're from, even though it's all in Australia. It's the
yes,
regions that make all the difference.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so I
And
think
I love the medicine of herbs um, and ritual and the power of the word and I'm absolutely fascinated with ancient mythology um, and even it's really interesting too because I know even herbs like my mother-in-law, she dries basil and she dries oregano and 100% better than the shop bought ones, and there's been a real revival in herbal magic and herbal medicine as well. I know if you go into the health food store, like oregano is the new, miracle oil, and you've got, yeah. So I love all that too. That it's got, the practical magic side of it as well. Yeah, yeah,
yes. Yeah, I talk about that quite a bit in the book. There's a large section on herbs because you're right. And I grow all my own herbs. It's so easy to do. It's just a no-brainer to have
yeah.
one pot. All you need is just basically one large pot of terracotta
Yes,
and just putting in all the different herbs. So I hang them after I dry them, I hang them for good luck to bring me good fortune. So we have
yes,
rosemary plants at the front of the house as you walk in.
yes,
And so
yeah,
that is a sign of protection, but it's also so wonderful for your health and well-being. You have oregano, you have basil, parsley. There are just countless Mediterranean herbs that are so good for our health, but also protective. They're our plant
yes,
allies. So we've used them all these years to protect us from what we call the evil eye or misfortune, that we have them in the house, outside the house. We have salt, which is another amazing
yes,
protective talisman that we use. And
yes.
that's another story, but Italians, well, particularly Italians, we carry salt in our pockets for good luck when we've got nothing
Yes,
else. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I noticed that a lot of my kind of beautiful, husband's family often wear charms around their neck, like they'll have Mother Mary, but they'll also have, all these beautiful kind of, the beautiful cornucopia and the beautiful kind of, that hand gesture and different charms. Can you explain some of that?
Yes, we do wear charms, and I'm wearing one right now as I'm talking to you, Susie. So I've got
Yes,
the cornicello, which is the horn, and I've got
yes.
Mother Mary next to it. So I've got the paganism and the Christianity, all because that's what Italy's all about. They live side by side.
Yes,
Yes, you've got the hand sign, so that it's also a sign of banishing the evil eye. Some people have the actual eye shape, which is mostly not so much Italian, but it's
more
Greek
Greek. Yeah.
and Turkish. But we also
Yes.
look, we use what we can get. Let's face it.
Yes.
There are others, as you say, the cornucopia. There are what else have we got? We've got the little ladybird. She's also brings good luck.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and we
I didn't know
this is
about
going
that
to
one.
sound yeah, this is going to sound weird, right? But there's also a little hunchback man, and
Right.
the reason was that they used to think that if you saw a hunchback in the village and you rubbed his hump, it would bring you fortune. And so, very politically incorrect today, but it's what was used back then.
Yeah. I love that so, so much. That's so beautiful. And, do you want to talk a little bit about your book and hold your book up for us to see the cover? Because we do some video as well as audio as well. So have you got
Yeah.
your book there?
Yes, I do. So look, that's you take. Can you see it? It's a little
Yeah, I
bit.
love it.
Yeah. So it's very bright color, a cover,
Yes.
I say. Um, and it's won awards just for the cover itself because we wanted something that would really stand out. The red, the Italian colors, obviously, but really,
I love that you've used the Italian colors. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think that's where it's so clear as to what the book is about because a book has to show what the contents are. And
Yes.
red also is a good luck color that we use all the
Oh,
time. And
interesting.
yeah, we use
Yeah.
red as we use it. Women will use it inside their bra. They'll have a little ribbon inside their bra to
Yes.
bring them luck. Babies will have them over the cradle, so a little
Yes.
um, red ribbon. So red is life, red is vitality. That's why we associate it with good luck.
Oh, beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
I was gifted very early on in my relationship with my husband from his family a red chili. They call it a red chili, but to me it looked more like a cornucopia, with the golden crown. And he's often, we've always had them in our cars, hanging from
Yes.
the the mirrors and bits and pieces as well. Yeah, yeah. So,
Yes, that's the
um,
horn. We call it the cornicello, which is the
Connicello,
horn.
right, the
And it's
horn.
supposed to be, so horn was a sign of fertility. You can
Yes,
imagine, the bull horn, sign of fertility. And so it was always to bring abundance. So we talk about fertility differently today than what used to be called fertility because
yes.
it's an agricultural society. So fertility meant the land was fertile, that the crops would grow, that animals and livestock would be healthy, and that they would have lots of children so that they would help with the land. So that was where it originated from. That's why people go, "Oh, what's the horn? Is it a unicorn horn?" I said, "No, not quite." But it comes from that whole understanding. And the chili represents the horn. So that's why we have them hanging in the kitchen, dried, with the garlic. So any representation of that horn is also brings good luck, it's bounty. Yeah.
I've noticed too that a lot of like my mother-in-law uses a lot of olive oil for ceremony and ritual. Um, is there a reference? What's the meaning behind that, do you think? Do you know?
Olive oil is like salt. So there are some basics in Italian cooking and
Right.
Italian rituals. So salt and olive oil are the two main ingredients, shall we say, that forms the basis of all our cooking. But people think cooking is separate to spirituality. The two go hand in hand with Italians. So we eat the goodness, we eat
I
well-being,
love that.
we eat and drink what God, the universe, has given us. So the salt,
Yes.
it's the salt that comes from the sea. It's natural, but it's also protective and purifying because it purifies. And we
Right.
use that for all sorts of things, not just for food, but you use it in the
Yes.
bath and we use it to, I leave it on my windowsills because it
Yes.
absorbs negative energies
It
and
does.
absorbs anything in the air, really. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have that
It's a
and the olive
purifier.
oil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the olive tree is the tree of peace. And it's a gold mine. We used to have an olive grove. And my husband and I used to make our own olive oil from,
Wow.
yeah. So we used to harvest every year, have the whole family, friends, and we would crush it, we'd take it to be pressed, and it would be absolutely extra virgin olive oil. So everything
I
was,
love that really deep green,
oh,
delicious olive
oh,
oil. It's magnificent. Dip a beautiful piece of sourdough bread or something in it, or better still, Italian bread, I guess, so delicious. Yeah.
so it was really the gift from the gods because the olive oil is good for all, not just for the food, but it's
And
great
skin,
to anoint for his skin, for his
omega.
hair, makeup. It's
Yeah.
and it's also for blessings. So
Yes.
I use that in my ritual for removing the evil eye. But it was always used for rituals and for babies. We'd rub them all with olive oil when they were young and to keep them healthy and keep them blessed. So if someone passed away and the priest was not available, you would have the olive oil to do the final blessing. So there is just so many beautiful examples of olive oil being so special in so many ways.
Oh, I love that so much. Now, I know you do many different things. Why do you think people remain so interested in dream meanings?
Good question.
Mm,
Yes, good question. I'm actually on a radio show that I regularly, I'm a regular guest on
that's
every
2SM, yeah? Radio 2SM
them.
show.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm blown away. And as you know, I've written a few books on dreams and cards, so I have been in that realm, which is also an extension of my Italian magic because I grew up with understanding what dreams meant. but I've studied
Yes.
dreams in a more psychological way. So I really
Yeah.
blend the spiritual with the psychology. People are fascinated to know what's going on subconsciously because they can't look, we have a lot of noise in our lives. We have a lot of stresses, a lot of external stresses. We never really listen to our inner thoughts or our inner wants and needs. And we suppress it during the day. We suppress a lot of what's going on because we need to get on with the day. We need to
Yes.
function. And so
Yeah.
all those emotions and feelings and intuitions, they remain steady inside and they drop into our subconscious minds. And the only time they're released is when we're in our very deep sleep, in what we call the REM sleep cycle.
Yes.
When they're released, and people go into deep sleep and they usually dream. Not everyone remembers their dreams, but the ones who do, they're very significant because it tells them about what's really going on for them and how they're
Yeah.
really feeling about things. So it's a clarity. Sometimes it's a warning. It's a say, look, watch out for this. Other times it's more, this is what's going on. You need to do something about it. You can't go on this way. So it's fascinating. I love it. I so love working with dreams.
Oh, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that so much. In what ways are you using the information in your book? I'm jumping around a bit to raise awareness of cultural revival, do you think? Because I know you touched on that, but I just want to go back to that because I just find it, yeah, just so healing and transformative for a lot of people. And yeah, can you just can you explain a bit more about that, do you think?
How people are responding to the revival or how I'm,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. As I said earlier, I have run workshops all throughout Melbourne, and that has
Yes.
been really popular. I also run to what we call molecular tours. Now, molecular tour is just something I came up with out of the blue because someone suggested I'd love to go and actually see for myself. So they're little tours that I take them to a little restaurant in Carlton, a little bakery. It's actually quite a large one. And we look at food. We talk about the different foods and what they mean. And then we go on to a beautiful little store. It's a jewelry charm store, which you love, Susie, has all the charms
Yes.
from Italy. And
That's
the
on the
girls,
wish list.
yes, and they're from Calabria. The girls are from Calabria, and they explain exactly what all the charms mean and how to
Oh,
wear
really?
them. Yeah.
Oh,
And
how wonderful.
so it's like a little tour of where the first Italians actually landed in Melbourne. So La Carlton was it still is very iconic. It's like the little Italy, right?
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And
I
so
think I kind of knew that. Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure you have one.
Yeah.
Well, there's one in every state where they
Yes.
concentrated on one area. And so there are still
Yes.
those little restaurants, gelato shops, jewelry stores that reflect that Italian heritage. So I do quite a bit of that as well to bring people and out and about. So they want they want me to run some retreats, and that's my next job. I'll do some passata days, making passata, which is Italian sauce.
Yes.
Maybe salami days. We'll have a feast somehow. So just more of an immersion. I love that
I
whole
love that. Oh,
immerse.
how wonderful. Sign me up. Sounds wonderful.
Hey, you're on. Okay, done.
Now, what is the evil eye and why does this belief continue to hold power today?
Another excellent question because you would think by now the younger generation would have poo-pooed it and said, "Oh,
No, they don't.
they're
Even,
right."
even if you're not from Europe or, there's still this absolute fascination with the evil eye. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think because we are feeling very fragile at the moment because of
Yeah, good
everything that's
point.
going on in the world.
Yeah.
So people will say to me, I feel I have the evil eye. And I say, describe your symptoms. And they'll say, I've had a lot of blockages in my life. I seem to get ill all the time. I have headaches. I'm yawning all the time. These are all just different symptoms that are part of the molecule. And basically, I'm just feeling that I'm getting nowhere in life. I feel flat and not motivated. Some people can't sell their home and they're saying, we've tried everything and we can't sell our house. and they really are convinced that the evil eye is responsible. So these are some of the symptoms. And so to explain to people who may not understand the evil eye, what is it? So an evil eye is, I suppose, a broad term is a curse.
Yes.
I feel it's a curse where someone is envious, whether it's
Yes.
intentional or not intentional, and you then are the recipient of that curse. So something happens to you. So someone will say, "Oh, Susie, I love your glasses. They look fantastic." I might genuinely mean it, but somewhere in the ether, there is an evil intent that I really would love and want those glasses for myself. Next thing you know, your glasses will smash on the floor, or you might have hay fever or something. And this is how it's interpreted, this evil
Interesting.
eye. So it goes from intentional or non-intentional.
Yeah, it could be like just accidental or deliberate. Yeah. Yeah.
And the deliberate ones are much more serious, and you can see they have more serious consequences.
Interesting. More
Particularly,
power.
and,
Yeah.
and what people don't realize is the Facebook, the social media is the biggest portal, because that's where
Yes.
you record your trips or your all the good things you do. And you have to be really careful to protect yourself, because people will say, "What? I've been doing this all my life, and she's getting a spot on that show," or, "He's doing
Yeah.
so well." And it's that envy, that lack. I think it's not, it started, let me start that again. When it originated, people didn't have a lot of things. Again, it was an agricultural society. So
Yes.
if you got something extra, it meant I had something less. So
That's right.
this whole
Oh, that's, well, it's not right, but that's what they believed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's what it seemed to be. Oh, my land was cursed with, they say, I was cursed with locusts, and your
Yeah.
plot of land survived, and you got a good crop, and your family can eat, and mine is ruined. This is how, as I said, originated. And so
Yes.
this idea of you're taking something from me, it should have been mine, has continued on to the modern day, that whole way of thinking.
Yes. That perception.
Yeah, energetically, it's not even, people don't even think about it. It's an
Yes.
energetic,
Do you
and you
think,
understand.
yeah, Rose, I'm curious, like, do you think it's more powerful if the recipient receives it and becomes fearful of it?
I think the more you believe it, the more it affects you.
Yes.
I think
Interesting.
that's the
Yeah.
more and the more you're spiritual, the more it affects you as well. Unless you have the knowledge and the confidence to be able to fight it off, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know in ancient Egypt, they used to call it the healing eye.
The Eye of Ra. Yeah. A
That's
lot.
right. So it often, it's interesting, isn't it? Like anything, it has the duality, you know?
Yes,
Um, yeah, the same way, you know, yeah, I guess, the same way you could curse someone, you could also bless someone, right?
that's right. But because we live in a world where there's more negativity than positivity, um, yeah, and that would be ideal, Susie. I'd love it if we had the opposite effect.
Yeah.
We had a different charm where we didn't have to protect ourselves, and it would just be like a grateful little charm with the two hands
Yes,
together.
yes,
Yes.
yeah. But I absolutely love all of this. So I'm wondering, can you share your next project or is that top secret?
I can share some of it. So my next project will be a set of oracle cards based on the book. So
Yay. Yeah.
because the tarot did originate in Italy. I know they say it goes back to ancient Egypt, but the tarot that we have today originated in Florence in the 15th, 16th century. And so Italians are very drawn to cards. They've always
Yes.
had cards. Every family had cards, and the cards
Yes.
look that they have that medieval look about them. If
Yes.
yeah, that
Because they play the card game in Italy, don't they?
yeah,
I
they have
remember when
scorecard,
we
yeah,
traveled through Italy, they'd be on trains
all the
playing
time.
that card game.
Yes, so they had Scorpa, Briscola, the two main ones. There are quite a few
Yes.
different ones, and each region, about six regions, have different illustrations on the cards that represent their region best. But every family, I grew up with it. My aunts and uncles every week would play cards, and so cards are essential to just Italian. downtime. You will see the men playing, even today, the old men playing cards down the mall, the shopping
Yes.
mall outside
Yeah.
while the wives are doing the grocery shopping. They're there playing cards. You don't see that in the Anglo culture.
Not quite so much, no. I have to tell you something funny. I used to do a lot of readings out in the Riverina, which has a very large Italian population, and I'd always have to have a back entrance because the Italians would say to me, "I really want to come for a reading, but can I slip in the back,
Uh,
not come through the front?"
mm.
Mainly because of their Catholic connection, but their church connection, you see. So. You're absolutely right. They were very much into me doing card readings for them.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, because it is such an ancient, it's been there hundreds of years. And as I said, we've
Yes.
made them. So I'll be bringing those out and we'll have that sort of vintage look. So it will be an add-on to the book.
Oh,
And
I love that it's going to have that vintage look.
yes, very vintage. So it'll bring back memories for some people and for the young ones, really teach them about their heritage and all the main characterization. So it's an oracle, not a tarot deck, but I
Okay.
feel much more at ease doing an oracle deck. I think you've got more freedom
Oh,
uh,
absolutely.
to
It's
explore.
it's kind of always loosely based on the tarot, but you're quite right. I feel like it has a lot more freedom it's not quite so structured. It's more intuitive. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Oh, how exciting. That's so exciting, Rose. So you've got a beautiful card deck coming out that will be very complementary to your incredibly popular Italian folk magic book. I love that. Congratulations, my love. How exciting.
thank you. It's always a thrill to put anything creative out there in the world. I love it. I enjoy it. It's part of my life and what I've done for many years, and hopefully continue to do so for many years to come.
I love that so much. And I thought what we could do to finish off the podcast today is I'll pull a card for you from my Moon Temple Oracle deck. And of course, the moon is very symbolic. Is the moon quite often a part of it as well? Like, is that a part of the kind of Italian folk magic? I'm
Very much so.
curious.
Yes, the
Yeah.
moon, we plant by the moon. The moon goddess Diana was very prevalent in ancient Italy. Italians are crazy about the moon. Yes.
Oh, I love that so much. So the card I pulled for you and for our listeners is the cycle card. It's all the moon phases coming together, which is really beautiful. And it's Titaness Phoebe, and she typifies the light force, rhythms, and energy of the moon. And her link to the moon is synonymous with kind of shining wisdom out to those that seek her guidance. And she's got a really beautiful colossal power here. And yeah, as we said, that beautiful symbology is very connected to Italian folk magic as well. So that feels kind of really relevant to our podcast interview today.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful. Thank you. Yes.
beautiful. Love that. So I just want to thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for joining us on Ask the Oracle. A heartfelt thank you to Rosie, or Rose, I should say. You probably don't get called Rosie, do you? It's probably more Rose. A heartfelt thank you to Rose for sharing her wisdom on dreams, folklore, and Italian folk magic. If you'd like to explore more of Rose's work, check out her latest book and tune into her dream interpretations on Radio 2SM. And remember, the stories of our ancestors live within us, guiding us toward deeper awareness and cultural revival. Until next time, keep listening to the whispers of your soul and asking the oracle within. Thank you so much, Rose.
Thank you, Susie. It's been a pleasure.